So with lawn care season coming to an end, it is time to turn our attention to holiday lighting. Right here we have lights from Lumary. These are permanent Eve lights that will shine all year long. We're gonna tell you all about it, so stay tuned. Now, Lumary did send these to us at no cost in exchange for this video, but I assure you the thoughts and opinions are of my own. And as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Drop those down in the comments below. We do our very best to answer every single one, even if it means reaching out to the manufacturers to have them answered for you. All right, so here we go. This box right here, Lumary Permanent Outdoor Eve Lights Max. This is the one with 120 lights and a total lighted length of 158 feet. Some of the cool features here listed on the top of the box. 16 million different color variations. Really like unlimited control. I like that. Cool and warm lighting. You can control this via your voice on a few apps. I think it's Alexa and Google. App controlled, of course. And one of my favorite things that I'm gonna like doing is using this music sync feature. Inside the box, we have the user manual. This is also where it contains like the installation instructions, some reference materials for spacing off the wall appropriately with some additional instructions on the back. And then we have a couple boxes inside here. The first box gives you a lot of screws, the remote control. These are clips to hold up the wires, additional 3M pads if you need them. We've got a short extension cord, a long extension cord, and I guess this is more like a medium length extension cord that is also connected to the main adapter and controller. It is important to note these are IP67 rated for outdoor use and is rain tight. I missed this, but also at the bottom of this first box were a couple more of these clips to slide the lights on in case you need to replace them. And then I'm assuming in the next 3 boxes are all of the lights. We'll just open up one of them here so you can see. It looks like they're connected here. Let's just unconnect this so you can kind of see how these connect together. Just unscrew, pull them apart. Let's pull one bag out so you can kind of see how these go together here. These are what the individual lights look like. And before we go all out installing these lights, it's a good idea to connect them all together, turn them on, cycle through all the modes just to make sure everything's working okay. And then what I'm also going to be doing here while we're inside the house is connecting everything to Wi-Fi and setting up the app. That way we don't have to worry about that after it's installed and we're outside with everything. Installing these lights is actually pretty simple. On the back of each light is like a 3M adhesive pad. You just peel and stick it to the underside of the soffit here. And all of the lights are pre-wired and all the individual pucks are perfectly spaced at about like 1.37 feet apart. You have to install the lights about 4 inches off of the wall. So we have a block cut out to maintain that uniform spacing. Where things start to get a little bit tricky is more in the planning of things, because each strand of light is somewhat about, 25 feet long or something like that. And since you can't remove the individual pucks from the string, you end up with situations like this where you have to make a decision. Say for instance, I started down there and we came all the way across, right? And now this is the end of the strand right there. So I had 1, 2, I did put a third one underneath there. I had to make a decision. Do I go with an extension cord and save these couple lights to start a new row underneath here? Or do I just go with a new strand of lights and deal with a situation where, okay, now I got to put a light up top there and a light over here, and then really the new row starts over here. The same thing goes with up top with this drop. And then as we wrap around the garage here, you can see we get to the end of the eave, but I still have a bunch of lights left. So what do I do with them? I ended up putting them underneath the shingles here, but they still go above and on top of the roof there until you get to a point here where we decided to put that extension cord to go up to the top section of the roof. And on the other side of the house, we have this issue where at the very end of the line, we've got two lights kind of left over, just dangling here. I don't want to cut the line, but you know, I'm gonna have to tuck those away so they're not really seen. Now I realize that we fast forwarded a little bit to the installed lights here, but once these are lit up, we're gonna come back and show you what we can do to help resolve the issue of these extra lights installed on the side of the house. Now, I'm not knocking Lumary for this. I really like these lights and they look great, and I'm gonna show you that in a moment, but just wanna let you know up front that this is the kind of stuff you're gonna have to consider when putting lights up like this. So we are almost ready to install everything. The first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna wipe down all the cobwebs and everything that are on this eave. You wanna make sure that before you stick the 3M pad to, in our case, we have this like vinyl eave, it needs to be dry, it needs to be clean, free of any debris, so that you get good adhesion to that. The other thing I want to note, and I'm not sure if this is really meant to be this way, they sent a whole bunch of these like wall anchors for these like really tiny screws. These are like self-tapping screws that are meant to go inside of the puck here to secure it to the eave. Now these screws are not long enough to go through the vinyl here and then to any sub-material you may have if you have like plywood or anything like that. However, just to demonstrate this installed, now the adhesive is not exposed here. I just want to show you, we're just kind of screwing through one of these existing vent holes here, not over tightening it, but it does have a good amount of grip strength there without really tying into any like hard subsurface like plywood. This is just inside the vinyl there, so it's really just dependent on the thread of that screw through this thin vinyl here. I think that's going to hold plenty for us for this kind of installation, so I don't think you're going to have to go out and buy longer screws or anything like that, but I really don't think you're going to use these wall anchors at all. So you mount the lights first without screwing anything in. That gives you the equal spacing between lights. Once you have a strand in, then you can slide these off the clips and then secure them with the screws. Now, because we are dealing with vinyl and because we are not going to be going into any material like wood underneath the vinyl, I am using a screwdriver to drive these screws in by hand. That way I don't risk screwing or I should say stripping out the vinyl. You want to make sure you get a good grip from the screw into the vinyl there. And then that's not going to go anywhere. Slide these guys back on, and then if you wanted to, it does come with these clips right here to keep the wires kind of nice and snug against the eave like that. I think it looks okay without them. I probably rather would not want to put any more holes in the eave. That's just my opinion, but if you want to put them in, they are there for you to do that. It's probably enough to go one between each and every light. And now that we have everything installed, the moment we've been waiting for, the lights. And there it is. It looks amazing. Super happy with this. I really like how the projection of the light kind of creates a shadow and like a scalloped look along the wall of the house. Really sharp, really clean, really classy. And I've got the remote here. My phone is my camera, so the app is on the phone, but it does come with a remote and you can switch between modes, all the different types of lights, different colors, motion, some twinkling lights, and you can switch between, let's just go back to warm white. You can make it dimmer. You can make it brighter. And the remote is very responsive. Cool white, if you like cool white, it's got cool white. Go red, blue, green, and auto, which I'm not quite sure what auto does. Still figuring some of this stuff out, but it's pretty neat and really excited about that. Interested to know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments. For us, we like warm white. One of the things I wanted to show you earlier, we're gonna come back to the lights on the side of the house that didn't quite look right, but we had to make room for them and put them somewhere. These are the lights we were talking about earlier in the video, and they are turned off. Yes, you can individually target which lights you want on, which ones you want off. You can individually set the color of each bulb however you want. It's fully customizable within the app, really easy to use. But yes, and that's how we are handling this little bit of an issue we told you about earlier. It's not so much of an issue, it's more about how creative you can be to kind of get around some of this stuff. So wherever we have these drops and we've got a couple extra lights hanging, you just turn that light off. But that's how we handle this to make everything look nice and clean. No need to have the lights on the roof. As you can see, I think in the frame here, you can see the lights up top are also turned off. So you only have the lights under the eaves on. I want to thank Lumary for sending us these lights. They look fantastic. This was a fun project for us. Hope that your light hanging goes well. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for joining.